punches when you could throw two punches that sound like one. You could throw a punch, you can hear them. They were two, but they sound like fucking one punch. They don't understand. Anybody that hears this understand art of fighting. They know what I'm saying. He threw two punches that sound like one.
Yo, yo, mic check, mic check. Let's go, let's go. Oh, no camera check. All right, let's go, let's go. Let's get the lighting good. You know, our morning shows always look the best. It gets like shady in here, like when during the afternoon, you know what I mean? It gets a little dark for that 3 o'clock slot. What's good, Koi boy? Shelly Shell, welcome to the chat. I love when the mods are first to the gang. Wordsmith, how's it going, my boy? You know, we love when we are up in the chat with us. So, man, got some cool cases today. Um, Yesterday, just a little update for you guys that miss it. Uh, Yesterday was we celebrated our 5,000 subscriber mark. We are on the road to 10K, guys. As a community, we set that goal about 6 weeks ago. Um, and we hit 5,000 subs in 6 weeks, guys. That's amazing. Hopefully we can keep that same pace or even pick up the pace. Who knows? Everything was real cool. In celebration, I got myself a little drink this stream. Y'all know I don't drink a lot, but I wanted to celebrate with y'all. Everybody was saying they had a drink yesterday in the chat. I didn't have one with me, so I got a little beatbox, mixed it with my soda. Got a little buzz. I only took a few sips. That shit's strong as hell. Uh, but you know what I'm saying? I just love each and every one of you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. Everybody was so generous. Yesterday was actually our record. We broke our record for most revenue in a day. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Really helps us out. But with that being said, let's get into the show. Killer Christian rocker realizes his life is over. So I think some guy in a Christian rock group killed somebody from the title. But let's find out. Fade is getting faded. Fade King. Shit, I usually be high as hell. Y'all seen me chain smoke weed on this mug?
In November 2001, co-workers of vibrant 43-year-old
Hey, L. Thomas, you know we love you, Candy.
Diane Hollick called police and requested a welfare check after she had failed to show up to work. When police entered her Austin, Texas home, they found Diane's lifeless body in an upstairs bedroom. She had ligature marks around her neck and her In November 2001, co-workers of vibrant 43-year-old Diane Hollick called police and requested a welfare check after she had failed to show up to work. When police entered her Austin, Texas home, they found Diane's lifeless body in an upstairs bedroom. She had ligature marks around her neck and her expensive engagement ring was missing. Co-workers told investigators Diane had been in the process of selling her home so she could move in with her fiancé in Houston. One co-worker revealed that Diane had excitedly told her over the phone the previous day that a potential buyer had come to look at the house and had arranged to return later with his wife. One of Diane's neighbors told police they had seen a brown or gold van parked in Diane's driveway the previous afternoon. They had assumed it was a potential buyer for the home. Detectives discovered other home sellers in the area had been visited by a suspicious man driving a brown or gold van over the previous few months. One seller had been so unnerved that they had taken down the license plate. Police traced the plate to Patrick Tony Rousseau, a part-time music minister at a local church, and singer in a Christian rock band. Rousseau was also a convicted criminal who'd spent 8 years in prison for several attacks on women. Detectives hauled Rousseau down to the station for questioning.
Okay, well, like we told you on the
This channel is The Crime Scene. The title of this video is Killer Christian Rocker Realizes His Life is Over. I kind of like their method, bro. It was just, let's give you the facts of the case. Boom. I like that. I like this channel. We're going to have to come back to it.
way over here, you're not under arrest, okay?
I am curious, so why someone be knocking on my door this early in the morning? It's gotta be
But
pretty
you understand,
serious.
we asked you to come down here and you
Yes, I
voluntarily
did.
came down here and we told you you're not under arrest. and
Correct.
You're free to leave anytime you want to leave.
I will be happy to do whatever it takes to do whatever you guys need. So I don't have any problem with it at all.
Okay.
This has to do with an incident that happened here in Austin, in Northwest Austin. Some things are missing and we're trying to account for them. And what we'd like to do is, I brought a calendar of November. If you can tell us, let's see, what are we right now?
21st.
21st. We're right here. If you could start maybe the 12th and go through and tell us what you remember, where you were and what you did each of those days.
The 12th. Boy, I should have brought my organizer, because I have a lot of stuff I do all over the place all the time. That would be a week ago this past Monday, correct?
Correct.
Wow. Monday, I could be, this can vary from day to day because I'm not sure what days I have my vehicle. We've had problems with this Ford van that we bought. It's been recalled. I don't know how many times we've had it down there for problems, but I know in the past 2
Hey guys, looks like we're starting to fill up. If you could double tap them screens, it would really help out the channel a lot. Yeah, let's get those likes up, bring more people in. Thank you.
weeks we've had it in the shop a number of times.
Down where?
At the Ford dealer, Monday Ford. We passed it coming.
In Bastrop?
Yes.
Okay.
It was possible that I either took it down or called down there. So I know I spent some time probably at the Ford dealer.
So bro got a wife. He's a minister, and he's a serial rapist / killer, it sounds like. Talk about a double life.
Either that Monday or Tuesday. Most of that day was spent probably either at church or at my house. And then I had a staff meeting that night on that Monday. I'm giving a real rough estimates here. So
Okay. That's fine.
without my organizer, I really couldn't tell you exact pinpoints. Tuesday.
Maybe it's because my life is pretty like set, like at this point. Like I know at 9 I'm on stream. I know at 3 I'm on stream. In between those times, I'm working on videos or hanging out with the family. Like these people and these things always be like, I need my phone, I need my planner, I need my calendar. I don't remember. Like what I've learned is the busier you are in life, the more you remember shit. Like in my early 20s when I was in college and I would just ditch class and sleep all day and smoke weed and fucking hang out at the apartment while my friends went to class, like that's when I didn't remember what day it was or things like that. But like when I'm organized with family and I don't drink randomly all the time throughout the day or like, you know what I mean? Like I don't like it just don't make sense to me.
Wow. I might have
Yep, Shelly, once you go too far down a rabbit hole of like followers, you become further away from any type of spirituality that you thought. You know what I mean? I agree with you.
This has really caught me off
Oh no, I hope you I hope that chills out for you, L. Thomas. We'll be here when you're ready.
guard. I apologize. I'm
It's
just
okay. Take your time.
I might have worked on my fence part of that day. Spent time at the church.
Hello, Carol. Welcome to the chat.
Usually either planning out stuff for our next event or whatever we have going on. Trying to think if I made any trips up here at all.
Right? That's literally what's going through his mind. Like, what can I say right now?
Not a lot happened in probably Monday or Tuesday. That's usually my slowest day. If I can think of anything, I will definitely tell you. If I had, like I said, if I had my organizer, I can tell you a lot easier what I've done and what I haven't. Wednesday, I don't remember if I bought parts. I might have went out. I think I went to Walmart or something to get parts. We're putting in a sink or something in we're moving some youth around and putting them in a bigger room. And it's possible I bought some parts.
Yo, shout out that boy Bradley, guys. Make sure you show Bradley some love in the chat. You know we like when when the members show up to the live streams.
On that day for plumbing for the sinks that we're actually putting in the other room.
Hey, what's up, Mo? Welcome to the chat.
We had church that night.
On Wednesday night?
Correct.
What time did church start?
Church starts at 7, but I get there a lot earlier than that. I get there sometimes 5:30 or 6. It just depends on, some, like, my wife sings on the praise team with me, and my oldest boy's girlfriend happens to be the pastor's daughter. So, we usually go down there. We let them spend time together and work on whatever we're going to work on. And that we probably got there about 6 that night or a little before. Me and the gentleman that plays bass for us, who also plays in my band, he's on my praise team. So we get together usually before church and practice. So I would say it was probably about 6 o'clock, give or take. It might have been 5:30 that day. I'm not really sure. Sometimes we show up as early as we can, and it depends on how much time I already spent down there, whether I want to be down there. Half-hour difference can make all the difference in the world. So, and I remember the church services ending just a little after 8. We usually get home about 8:30 after we say goodbye to everybody. So Thursday, that was that big storm day, wasn't it? Okay, that is not a problem. Thursday, I spent some time at the church again. I went to go to KNLE here in Austin.
Where's that at?
That's off of, I'm doing by landmarks. I don't really know the streets that well out here. It's off of 183, and I think it's Knoll something. Knoll. I go by this big blue water tank that's out there, and if I go past it, I know that I passed up the.
Is it the big water tank?
There's a huge, kind of almost flat-looking water tank out there by.
Bro, it's just talking about nothing.
I was at every unit I was on. I was a either choir director or worked for the chaplains. I took counseling while in prison. I took every kind of anger management program, because that was my big problem back then. Was I went through the drug rehabs.
He trying to pitch it like it was anger, but bro got arrested for raping chicks. And now he came back out, and it seems like he did the same thing and just finished, like, killed her so that she couldn't tell. You know what I mean? It's almost like he went to jail to try to cover up, like to become a better criminal. You know what I mean? Like he didn't do all this spiritual stuff and counseling and stuff like that to become a better human or fix like his illness, his mental illness. He used it as a cover. So when he comes out, he feels like he'll have better alibis or a better you know what I mean, reputation. And he killed her this time so she can't identify him. And that's his, I think that's his theory. Tanya, welcome to the chat. Definitely show Tanya some love. You know we love when the members show up to the live stream, guys.
Because I had an old drug habit that really took a toll on me. When I got out, I've done everything from put a book out to try to.
Tanya, make sure you have post notifications on. Make sure you have post notifications on. You are a member, so it should automatically send you like a message. But don't unsub. Just go to the bell and then click all subscriptions. You don't have to unsub to get the thing, but that's the right idea, Shelly.
Help inmates and other people get their life in order through Christ. I have been a music minister. I have a ministry that I go into prisons with. I go to churches and share.
I feel like that all this information has nothing to do with what the cops asked him. They asked him, "What'd you do on this day?" And we're 30 minutes in to "What'd you do on this day?" And bro has said everything but what he actually did on that day.
Their testimony with them on how they can deal with, youth or whatever that are headed the wrong direction. I handle our youth band, our children's choir. I'm not trying to. If someone's feeding you stuff that's saying that this man is, I'm going to defend myself. Okay,
right.
I can't account for every single second I've done something. I can't account for everybody that I ever speak to. This is true. But
we're talking about just Thursday, the day of the storm.
Okay, well, I thought.
See what I just tell y'all? What did I just tell y'all? Bro started going. The cop said, "Hold up, man. We're talking about Thursday. Let's get back to Thursday."
We were talking about the whole week.
Well, no, I mean, right now we're talking about Thursday.
Okay.
About you veering off from your getting lost in this neighborhood, and that the only person you talked to that day was a guy you parked in front of, went up, knocked on his door because there was a light on, and you talked to this old man. You never talked to this woman right here.
No.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing her or talking to her.
Her name is
ever.
Diane. Do you know any Dianes?
No, sir.
No. So you're saying you've never seen this woman, never been to her house, never been to her doorstep, never been inside her house, never been invited to look around. There would be no reason for anything to come back to say that you were in her house.
No, sir. I don't recall ever seeing her.
Okay.
And
damn, he stole her ring and they found that shit in his van. And damn, it ain't even about the witness at that point. That just confirms everything that the witness said, you know what I mean? And let you know he was in that house. This case is back from 2001, so that's why the video is kind of crappy.
If she's saying that I've stole something from her, then I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. But I haven't stolen anything from anybody. I worked my tail off for what I have.
And I'm not trying to drudge up old stuff, and I'm not trying I'm just trying to understand it. Okay. What was the kidnapping about that you spent 8 years?
I had a nervous breakdown while on the job. I had just gotten off of drugs. I thought drugs were my problem. I was trying to seek out a new life, which wasn't really going all that great. I felt like I had just a ton of stuff on me. I didn't know how to deal with it because drugs were my way of dealing with things, and I was trying to stay off of drugs. So it ended up where.
Oh no, I didn't think he admitted to stealing it, Wordsmith. I'm just saying, if they found that diamond ring in his truck, it just confirms everything that we already knew.
I had nervous breakdown, and I was just happened to be at a business where I was doing a fire and safety inspection. I was a fire and safety inspector at the time, and I ended up holding the receptionist against her will, and basically I broke down crying and just telling her all my problems, and then I left.
How did you hold her?
I tied her up.
How did you tie her
I forced her. I tied her hands up.
In front of her, back of her?
In back of her.
What did you tie her with?
I had some tie wraps from my fire extinguisher thing, where I would, put on labels on the fire extinguishers.
Is that like, what color are they?
They come in different colors. There's no one color.
Is that like something like an electrician would use to keep wires together?
Bro said he used zip ties, and the cop got confused.
I don't know what.
Are you familiar with the police profession?
Not real familiar, no.
Do you know what we use when we don't have handcuffs? We have what's called flexicuffs. They're a thicker version of. They're white straps that loop around and you can feed it through. And when you feed it through, they lock and you can pull it tighter.
Zip ties?
Kind of like that.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Dose, I remember the party line. Well, I don't know what you mean, but when I was a kid, it was a thing. It was a number called the party line. And it was basically like the internet before the internet. Like it was for grown-ups, but mostly teenagers was on there just playing around, like trying to meet other teenagers. But then there was also hella like pedophile type dudes on there too, so you had to be careful. Like shit was crazy. Oh, the house line? Yeah, my stepmom told me about that. She said when they were kids, you could pick up your phone and other people would be talking on the phone.
No, different type. It was the kind that have the aluminum thing through them, and but
that's sort of like a zip tie.
Well, but they don't zip lock. They have to wind them. But regardless, that was the issue. Was that I just needed someone to talk to. I didn't feel like I had anybody, and I forced her to. I forced her to.
Yo, shout out that girl Connie. You know we like when the members show up to the live stream. Make sure you guys show her some love.
Listen to my problems, and if you guys look into my case, since you've got me here on this, I'm sure that would be something you would probably look into, and you'll see what it says in the case. It'll tell you. I believe that anybody that ties anybody up does some damage. Physical damage, no, I didn't hurt her. Emotionally, I probably ruined her life.
I mean, there's no sex.
No, sir.
Anyway.
No.
What was the terroristic threat about?
If terroristic threat, that must have been something a long, long time ago. And I don't remember who I might have made a terroristic threat to. I remember having that somewhere in
this
my.
Had to do with the
not
anger, the anger that you had back then.
Right. Well, that's why I took anger management and things to deal with stress, period, because I didn't know how to deal with stress. My dealing with stress was take drugs and you'd get away from your problems. And then I was trying to deal with my problems and I didn't know how to do that. And I would blow up. I
Days in, welcome to the chat.
I mean, breakdowns run in my family, but I never thought that I would have a nervous breakdown. And at that time, when I caught that kidnapping charge, I had a nervous breakdown. I had to force someone to listen to what I was going through. And like I said, my file is not hard to find. You know, if you read the file, you'll see that basically, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to make light of it.
Have you been diagnosed as having a disorder, a mental disorder, or do you suffer from periods of blackouts or?
No, I don't suffer from blackouts. The only time that I ever had any kind of counseling done where they did an evaluation was when I got arrested. They wanted to make sure I was okay for court because they do realize that it was a nervous breakdown, but I broke the law, so I needed to do my time for it. They were going to prosecute me. And that's okay. You know, I broke the law. Doesn't matter whether I had control of myself at the time or not. I broke the law. About it was probably more than that. It was probably about 6 years into my prison sentence.
Shout out that boy Derek, man. He just stepped up in the chat. Make sure y'all show him some love.
I had my attorney paid for a professional therapist to do an evaluation on me, an emotional evaluation. And after all the counseling that I'd been through and things like that, they said that they felt that I was perfectly capable of, you know, living a normal life, you know, without doing drugs, without losing my cool and stuff like that. And so that's the only time I've ever had any kind of actual.
Were you prescribed medication?
Never.
Are you on medication now?
No.
What about the burglaries? Did you take something from that business?
No, all my offenses have to do with just anger. Either it's assault, or, well, pretty much, you know, the law has, I don't have to tell you guys this, the law has ways of, you know, they pick and choose how they're going to file things in the criminal court. It's going to be under burglary one time, it'll be under assault the next time, or kidnapping.
Hey Jennifer, welcome to the chat.
And you can, but all my cases deal with actually, you know, just losing my cool.
Yo, shout out that girl Lisa. Make sure y'all give her some love in the chat. You know we like when the members show up to the live streams and chat. Wordsmith just posted a review, so if you guys just joined in, read Wordsmith's review. It'll tell you what's going on in this case.
Well, a burglary is a property crime. Well, an assault is a person crime.
I know, but burglary of a habitation can be an assault through a doorway, and so they call
there's somebody in there.
Yes, correct. And
was there somebody in the house when you did the burglary?
Yes. Well, I didn't burglarize the house. I assaulted someone through their doorway, and so I got a burglary of a habitation with the intent to commit bodily harm when the burglary had nothing to do with it, because it wasn't a burglary. I was actually looking for a friend of mine. I was looking for a drug fix. And
what kind of drugs were you on at the time?
It'd be easier to tell you what I wasn't on.
What was your drug of choice?
Everything. There was no drug of choice. Anything that could get
heroin, cocaine, everything?
No, cocaine, pot, pain pills, hallucinogenics, liquor. I was never preferable to anything. I just, whatever I could get that would take away just dealing with stress and pressure reality, then I would do it.
Oh shit, Connie, I didn't see you. Guys, show Connie some big love in the chat. You know we like when the members show up to the live stream.
And did you kick your drug habit only when you went to prison?
No, I kicked the drug habit before I went to prison. I was out on bond. When all this stuff finally collapsed on me and I got bad.
Well, I mean, people think that you're in their neighborhood, in their homes. That makes people uneasy. Not just on Thursday, but before then. A picture came out on the TV set.
I hear about all
Hey, pro animal lover, welcome back to the chat.
These stories, whether they're true or not, I don't know. About, so-and-so was seen, so-and-so was convicted. 10 years later, he's acquitted. It's like, I can't afford to lose my family over something like that.
And I agree with you, and I'm not here to put an innocent man in jail either. That's not my job either, just to solve a case. I want the right person in jail.
Well, then, all right. I try to look at it from you guys' standpoint, but that's real hard for a person that lost his family once for stuff I did. Granted, I never tried to get out. When I got in trouble with the law, I never once ever denied it. In fact, I turned myself in. I never once ever denied when I did something wrong. But if I haven't done something wrong, regardless of how many people claim that I'm in their neighborhood, I'm telling you, I haven't done anything wrong. And I'm not going to say anything or do anything that's going to make it even look worse on me. I lost my family once for something I did. I'm not losing it again for something I haven't done. And that does bother me. This is my second wife. This isn't the wife I had when I got locked up. This is a wife I got after I got locked up. Now, I just got my boys back. I've got a home. I've got some land. After this, who knows? If news gets wind of my name, then I probably will ruin both of us. Just because it doesn't matter whether, anything else happens. It doesn't matter because she ain't going to be able to teach at her school. And I sure I may or may not have a job. I don't know. But I'm looking at all that, and I'm looking at the idea that the possibility of just losing that much over this. I feel for the people.
He thinking rationally now, right? He thinking about his family now. He thinking about all he gonna lose now. But you wasn't thinking about that when you was strangling and probably SA-ing this lady.
Well, and that lady. But we haven't done anything wrong except our lives being disrupted. And I feel like, whether I'm believable or not, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be believable to anybody. I'm just being honest. And then I know on the DNA thing and all this stuff, all it takes is a judge to sign an order to get that stuff done. That's really not even an issue with me. The issue is making decisions that I don't even know right now I'm qualified to make. Because I got so many things running through my head right now about everything. I do want to help. I do want to get some things resolved. And I do want to clear my name. But, some things, it does scare me. I know what it's like to go to prison. I don't ever want to go back there. And I've done everything I can to try to make sure that I abide by every single law that I can.
It's funny watching these tapes from back 2001 because the cops always have their phone in their hand now. Like they're always strolling, scrolling, doing some shit like this. These cops are not addicted to their smartphones the way that people are now today. So he's just sitting there with his arms crossed, like looking into this man's soul. He knows that the suspect knows that the officer knows he's lying. That's why he keeps rambling.
Can I ask you this?
Sure.
And I'm just a straight question.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you all even think that I would do something like that? What motive would have had to do something like that to
I
somebody?
have no idea. I mean, I have no idea. I've been doing this job a long time. And, I don't know. People have different reasons for different things. Could have been an anger issue. Don't know. I mean, clearly it was. I mean, that woman never did anything to hurt anybody. Everybody loved that woman. I mean, I haven't heard one person say a bad thing about this person. I mean, had no enemies. There's no reason for it. None whatsoever. And so, I don't know. I mean, I don't know you. You and I are strangers. I had no preconceived notion.
Hey, shout out Dose's cat. She liked the stream. He liked the stream. He was like, double paw, double paw. Shout him out.
When I came in here about you. Okay? I have several people telling me that you were the person that came to their house. Okay? Same story every time. I mean, it's just way beyond coincidental. Okay? So I'm trying to figure out why you would be in that neighborhood. Okay? I'm trying to figure that out too. I don't know. Was it a burglary? Was it a robbery? Was it a rape? I don't know. But part of the thing is that, all these people saw you there in their neighborhood, spoke with you. Some for 20 minutes, clearly that's a long time. There was no hesitation in picking the picture out of the lineup. There was none. I mean, there was no question about it. So you put yourself in the neighborhood,
In what neighborhood? I don't even know what neighborhood.
The one you got lost in, Tony. The neighborhood that you got lost in.
All right. See, this is.
Your van, unless a ghost came in or the body snatchers came in and took you out of that van and put somebody else in there, I don't know how to explain that either. How do you explain that?
I don't even know that it was my van. I don't know what they're. Okay, you guys got a license plate number from wherever. I don't know who you got it from. I'm telling you, I wasn't there. And you say the neighborhood I got lost in. I don't even know what neighborhood I was in. I don't live up in that area. Mm-hmm. The only time I've ever been up in that area is to go to KNLE. That is it. I have never been anywhere else outside of there, so I don't know what area I was in. That may be coincidental, but there's a whole lot of coincidences in life. I can't do nothing about that. But
I don't think that's a coincidence.
Okay.
I mean, I just don't. Too many people. If it was one person, maybe, but 3, 4, 5. Well, not just this particular day, but another day.
He thought nobody would recognize him in that neighborhood. He thought nobody would be able to identify him because he had never been over there before, not realizing that, bro, in those type of neighborhoods, like in smaller towns and shit, people know every car on their street. If there's a new car parked on their street, they're going to realize that, and they're going to figure out whose car is that? Did somebody get a new car, or is that a new person? Like in small communities like that, they're nosy, bro. Like he doesn't live in a major metropolitan city where if he went into a neighborhood that he never been to before, nobody would care because they see random cars all the time. You know what I mean? And the fact that he pulled up to multiple houses, like, bro, you made yourself suspicious as hell.
A month ago.
I'm not saying
Or a
that.
couple months ago.
I'm not saying that someone didn't see someone like me, but I'm telling you it wasn't me, and you're saying it was me.
I'm saying
This is in 2001, Connie. So even if they would have taken a picture, you wouldn't have been able to make too much detail out of it from the cell phones at that time. You know what I mean? It would have had to been like a disposable camera or some shit.
that
It's not me.
I'm saying it was certainly somebody that resembled you,
Well, that may.
or you know,
All right, that
was
may
very
be,
close.
but
Your twin brother, maybe,
well,
in that van.
there, you know.
That's why we're talking to you, Tony.
I understand
You
that.
know, who did anybody? You didn't? Can anybody vouch for where you were all afternoon? Where were you at 11 o'clock on Thursday? Did anybody see you? Were you with anybody at 11 o'clock on Thursday?
I could have been. I'd have to look at my organizer. I mean, I could have been. I might have been in a meeting. I don't know. I have so many things going on. The whole reason I need an organizer is because I can't keep up with stuff that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it may very well be. You know, I need to look at that and see. I need to look at and find out where I could have been or what could have possibly have been going on.
Maybe you knew it was the day of the storm, and I think everybody pretty much
that.
remembers that day. But you told us that you were only down on 183 at KNLE at 4 o'clock.
Right.
The storm was already. I mean, the tornado touched down in Butte at 3:30, so it was already storming like crazy by 4 o'clock.
Well, it was pretty much getting there where I was at. I mean, it was raining. There's no doubt about that. I'm just. But
it was nice up until that point. Do you remember where you were before you went to KNLE? That's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, what happened to that time frame? What happened to the whole morning and the whole first part of the afternoon? You know, I mean, if you wrote it down, that's great. If you were with somebody, that's great.
I think that if I look at my organizer, I can get a better idea of what I might have been doing or might not have been doing.
Where is that at? Is that at your house?
It's at my house.
You know, they're at this moment they're executing a search warrant on your trailer.
Well, I told you guys I would do it anyway.
Well, I'm just saying they're executing a search warrant is probably the better legal thing to do than to.
Where are my boys at?
I don't know what arrangements your wife made. They're Detective Gilchrist is just about done with her, and she's going to come in here and talk to you. But they're out there right now. They're searching the trailer. They're gotten with your minister. They're going to go search the church. See if you have any compartments out there that they're going to get a search warrant for. They've located some zip ties there at the trailer, and I'm sure they'll run some testing on it to see if the markings on that are going to match the markings on this woman.
Bro, that's his MO. He zip tied that first lady. Remember when he was talking about what he went to jail for previously? What did he do, like 8 years, he said? He said he zip tied that lady up and made her listen to all the shit he wanted to say. He just wanted somebody to listen to her.
And you don't have to say anything. And we can sit here and say, well, it might be somebody that resembles you or looks at. They picked you out. Not a friend, not somebody that looks like. They picked you out. They had a conversation with you. They swore to an affidavit that it was you. They took your license plate number on your van, and they're willing to swear to it that it was your van with those license plates. And it wasn't just Thursday. It was in another location in West Austin or in Southwest Austin that a lady took your license plate number down after you came and started asking some really what did she call it? Some unsettling conversation that she had with you. And she said she would never forget your face again. And she didn't. And she took it upon herself to write the license plate number down of your van. And she provided that. When she heard about this case, she called us and provided us with that information. So this isn't stuff that we're just pulling out of the air. These are facts that we've been gathering for the last several days before we asked you to come down here and talk to us. I mean, this is where the case is going. And all we asked of you, we're not asking you to make up stuff that we want to hear. We're building a case.
I understand that.
Okay?
I understand.
And all we asked for you to do, you said you were a Christian. You said that you tell the truth. And all we ask that you do is sit here and tell us the truth about what happened. Okay, we're going to get to the bottom of it, with you or without you. But we thought you'd come in here like a man, sit and talk to us and tell us what happened out there. If you snapped, then tell us that.
See, now you're trying to, this is what I was telling the officer here is, you guys are trying to place me in a murder situation. I'm telling you,
okay,
let's
take you away from that murder situation. Why aren't you telling us about these conversations you had with these people that we know were true? That these people picked you out. Okay, let's not talk about the murder. You say we're trying to put you in a murder. Let's not talk.
I'm not sure yet. I don't. They haven't. I think they said they found a diamond ring in his car, but I'm not sure. I don't know if we just know that or if they actually found it in the car.
About that. Let's talk about these conversations you had with these people in this neighborhood. These people that clearly saw you, clearly got your license plate off your van. Let's not talk about the murder. I mean, there's got to be a reason why you're not telling us. If it's because you thought, man, if I tell you that, then I'm really looking more circumstantially. It's making me even look worse than what's happening right now. If I admit to having these conversations, then circumstantially that's even going to be worse. But it's got to be explained.
Maybe you're having some financial problems. Clearly if you're only making
Right though, she's probably like, "What the fuck? Who did I marry, bro? He could have did that shit to me."
$800 a month, that's nothing. You can't support a family on $800 a month.
That's
Your
right.
wife's the only one making any money, really. She's gone to work all day, I mean, you have a gig every once in a while. You do some stuff at the church every once in a while, and I'm sure that most of that is volunteer type stuff.
No, I can assure you this one thing. I haven't murdered anybody. I haven't robbed anybody. I haven't burglarized any houses.
Well,
and no matter, I don't care how bad it looks on me. I haven't done anything to anybody. And you can search my house.
Tell us what you've done.
I haven't done anything. That's what I'm telling you.
Were you in this neighborhood?
No.
You weren't talking to any of these people?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. And you say that you talked to your wife the whole time that you were at KLNE and that you talked to her all the way back to Bastrop?
No, I did not say that. I said that I was lost and I was on the phone for a good hour with her on my way home.
And what time was that?
I'm not sure exactly. The first time I spoke.
He lying. Earlier he said I got lost and called my wife, and I talked to her on the phone while I was lost. Now he only called her to tell her he was only on the phone for 1 hour, but he was lost for 4 hours.
It was around 4. I know that. After that, it was probably about an hour, I guess. And then I spoke to her all the way home.
And what time did you get home?
I guess around 5:30 or 6. I'm not sure exactly what time it was.
So either your recollection is incorrect or her recollection is incorrect.
Well, no, I don't think that she has an incorrect recollection. I'm pretty sure.
She said she talked to you once, and that was at 3:30 when she called you, and then she didn't talk to you again until about 7:15 or 7:30 that night.
No,
and this is the night of the storm.
That's not true. And
well, I mean, that's what she's.
Well, then she needs to be reminded because that's not true. There's no way I got home before then.
Okay, and you also know that we can get your cell phone records. And
you sure can.
And we're going to verify.
Yes, you can.
How long you were on the phone, where you were at the time you were having these phone conversations.
Yes, you can.
Okay. I mean that's something that we're going to.
Shout that girl. Who that jumped up in the chat. Make sure you show who that a lot of love, man. She one of our best members, man. I love her so much. She's a great person. So give her some love, chat.
That's true. And you can.
And it'll either disprove what she's saying, or it's going to prove what you're saying. That you had these conversations, and that.
Well, I'm sure that I'm going to tell you something. I'm pretty sure she's pretty confused right now herself.
Okay.
You know, I don't even know what's really going on here, other than my head is spinning right now because I'm caught up in something that could ruin our lives. And it doesn't matter whether you guys believe me or not. It's just the idea that this just the notion of us being down here talking to you could ruin everything for both of us.
Well, we have a job that we've got to do.
And I understand that. It doesn't mean that you ruin.
And we don't run out and randomly just snatch people out. When people come to us with information, we have to follow up on that information.
I'm not.
It was more than one person that came.
Well, I'm
to
not
us.
disagreeing with that. Y'all are talking to me like I committed a murder, though, and I haven't. And I don't care what it looks like. I haven't done nothing to anybody. I haven't hurt anybody. I haven't done anything.
That woman that we showed you the picture of, you said you've never seen her before, never had a conversation with her, never been to her residence, and you've never been inside her residence.
I do not recall ever meeting her ever.
You don't recall ever meeting her, seeing her, talking to her, going into her house.
Correct.
Being at her doorway. You don't. That never happened as far as you recall.
Right.
Okay. Do you have any property at the church?
I have a lot of property at the church.
Do you have a locker there?
I have a cabinet.
Is it locked?
No.
So this would be something that your pastor would say, this belongs to Patrick or Tony.
Pretty much.
Okay.
He would know if it belonged to me or not.
And you have a guitar?
I have guitars. I have keyboards, PA system.
And they're not going to find anything in this deal that doesn't belong to you.
Well,
because they're on their way to do that right now.
I'm not saying there's not things there that aren't mine, but I mean, I don't keep everything in one place. I mean, I do have things that, are other people's, like there might be a guitar chord that, I mean, the stage is full of chords. Something may belong to one person. Most of them are mine.
I guess what I'm saying, there wouldn't be anything in there, and they're going to be looking. So there's not going to be anything incriminating there.
No.
Towards you.
To be honest with you, I don't know what's going to look incriminating to me. As far as I know, there's not going to be anything incriminating, but that doesn't mean that nothing won't be there that you guys won't consider incriminating. I mean, you guys.
Well, clearly, if a piece of property that belongs to one of these victims is there, that I'm not saying that's.
How many victims are there now? I mean, see, you said one of these victims. How many victims are there?
Well, we're still working on that. There's one dead person, and then there's other people's houses that someone has gone to.
I would really, really like to see my wife.
Let me see if she's done.
And before I even talk to her alone, I want you present when I ask her a couple of questions about the phone call thing and see if it doesn't jog her memory. I'm not going to insinuate anything, but even my wife can forget things. And I think that if I just bring up a couple of things, then you guys could see if she made a mistake on her thing. Because I'm telling you, that phone bill is going to show different. I would like to be with her alone, but I want to wait to be with her alone until after I asked her this question in front of you guys, so that you guys can't say that, oh, I just talked to her in private and planned it all out or anything like that.
Okay. Do you hang out with anybody during the day?
No. Sure don't.
You don't have a buddy that can vouch for you for some stuff? That was with you? That you hang out with?
No, I don't hang out with anybody. I just stuff at church, or if I do stuff with people at church, but I don't hang out with people. Then I'm going to sure try my best to find someone that I might have been with somewhere.
Yeah, your wife was gonna say.
I don't know.
Think she's gonna have doubt?
I don't think she'll doubt me. I think she knows me well enough. At least I hope so. I think that she knows.
It would be a lie, you know.
I promise you it's all messed up. It's not me. I give you my word on that, okay? Don't go nowhere. I want to ask this.
Well, I'll let you have your moment together and then.
I'm so sorry this time. But care what they say. I know. I'm so sorry you're going through this. I promise you, as far as Papa, I never did anything to anybody.
Mike,
I promise.
check.
I
Mike,
think
check.
about how this affects you and
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Mic check, mic check.
our church and everything. I worked so hard for.
I know.
You know, I couldn't even count for Friday. Like I said, it wasn't done just a few minutes ago.
Mic check.
That,
There we go.
I told him.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. My my sound deck was like fucking up. Like it was saying like when it was muted, I it was working, and then when it was unmuted, it was muted. I don't know, but I just fixed it.
I said, you know, I couldn't think Friday what I did Friday. And then I told him, oh, well, I just dawned on me that we picked John up from the airport. It's like, how can I forget something like that? Look at this. You know, I try to stay strong through this stuff. And then I think about what you're going through and how hard this must be on you, the kids, and I can't explain it. I can't, but I can promise you all my heart they're wrong. You know,
Ghost, right? If you're lost driving around talking to random homeowners trying to figure out where you need to go, like you would remember that shit. You wouldn't be like that shit just erased from my mind.
they think, oh, you just hiding under a cloak of Christian and this and that. It's like, no, you don't know what I've done to try to get my life in order and everything. And I understand they're in a situation where they're dealing with people, and I'm trying to explain to them. They don't want to listen. You know, I told them they could search a house. Well, they went ahead and did it anyway. it didn't matter because they knew that they didn't have to have my permission. But I said, go ahead. And then they said they want to do a swash job on me. And even though I signed the paper, I told them I want to talk to you first because, I don't want to incriminate myself more and more. And
He wanted to talk to his wife one last time before she found out he was a killer. Because right now he knows she still believes him. He knows what's up. But he wanted to talk to her one more time before they had the evidence to show her, like, your husband's a murderer.
God, I can't believe this is happening. I'm just asking you to do one thing for me, okay? Don't ever not believe, no matter what it looks like. I knew.
You see how he set it up? He was like, don't ever not believe me, even if it doesn't look right. Even if it doesn't look right means, like, even if they tell you I'm guilty and show you evidence that I'm guilty, please don't ever not believe me. That sounds like some shit a child would say.
Satan was going to attack. I just knew it, and but I never expected anything like this. But I can promise you this, listen, I promise you this one thing, it doesn't matter what anybody says or does. Innocent. They're trying to tell me, oh, well, 5 people say they seen you in the neighborhood. And, well, one lady got your license plate. And I said, well, I can't explain that, but I wasn't there, And then they said, well, I asked them, well, what neighborhood is this? And they said, what's the neighborhood? You said you were lost. And I said, well, I don't even know what neighborhood I was in. And they're not trying to hear that. When I told her I was going to ask you in front of her about the phone calls because, they were saying, well, they said, well, they talked to you and you said that you talked to me about 3:30 and then you didn't hear from me till 7 o'clock at night again. And I said, no, that's not true. I said that because they can check the phone thing. And that's what I was going to ask you in front of her so that they can know because I remember it being around 4 and I was pulling into the parking lot. And I said, stupid. I said, I understand people can make mistakes. Well, 5 people say they saw you. Some of them spoke with you for 20 minutes. I said, well, they didn't speak with me. And they say, well, one person wrote down your license plate. How can you explain that? I said, I can't explain it, but I know that where I was at. And well, 3 months ago or something, they were saying, well, someone else saw, because I didn't know they put something on the TV late last night. But they said, well, your picture, a picture that looks like you, was put on TV last night. Did you know that? I said, no, I didn't know that. And that's when I guess they got calls or something, and I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he's fucked. They had him on the news. They had his picture on the news, and then those people that had talked to him in that neighborhood when he was lost. Well, first, I bet. All right, this is the timeline. I bet he murders the lady. Right? They do the wellness check. They talk to the neighbor. The neighbor's like, "Yo, I seen a brown van in the neighborhood." So then they ask some more neighbors. Another lady's like, "Yeah, I talked to that dude for 20 minutes. Here's his license plates." They probably then asked for sketches from those witnesses. They already knew his name because they already knew his name. So they put the sketch on the thing. The lady who wrote down the license plate probably didn't talk to the police before then. She was watching the news. She sees that shit. She calls in like, "Yo, I talked to that guy. Here's his license plate." Then they grab his ass up. That's literally how it played out.
they said, well, how can you explain people saying that they described you? And I said, I have people all the time come and think that they know me and I don't know them. I said, I don't know what's about my face that's happened for so long that people come up and you think that they think that they know you. So much. I am so sorry for you going through so much.
She know he guilty now. When she came in, she was hugging and holding him and shit and crying with him. But now her body's like emotionless. Her tone is emotionless. She knows he's guilty as hell.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm just saying that I agree to it whenever they feel like I'm in a nightmare state right now. You work really hard to make something, try to turn your life around, and something like this happens. It's pretty hard.
What were your dreams? What were you working for? What were you working towards?
Just making a better life for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make something of myself. And it just seems like everything is going out the window.
Yo, they're letting him lie about his prior case too. He was trying to say that he just tied her up. But in the beginning of the video, when the narrator was talking, I'm like 99% sure said he was arrested for kidnapping and SA. You know what I mean? S assault. You feel me? Um, so I'm pretty sure he did that to this lady too. He seems like he has like an obsession with like dominating women. You know what I mean? Like taking from them.
How'd you get involved with the church? When I came out, I was involved in church all through prison, and when I came out, I got involved with the church, and I moved from that church to another church, and eventually someone came knocking on my door. It happened to be the pastor of the church I'm at now, and said, someone told us that you'd be a really good music minister for us, and we talked and prayed about it and let some time pass, and then we decided to go ahead and join their church as their music minister, which was a little over a year ago. And it's opened up a lot of doors for trying to keep youth from going to prison. Gave us opportunities to talk to
Thank you, Word. That's a really good compliment, man. I appreciate that.
people in jail and help them so they can get out and make something of their life. And
Were you religious before you went to prison?
I can say
No. She had my boy stumped. Were you religious before you went to prison? Silence.
Look at this dude.
that I was in the process of trying to put my life in order. I was very, very, had gotten off of drugs, and I was trying to deal with just learning how to deal with stress and things like that. But it seemed like I just was too many things were going wrong and I didn't know how to handle it, but I didn't want to go to drugs. So I ended up having a nervous breakdown.
That book that you wrote, that's pretty impressive. When did you write that?
Probably the first 2 years I was locked up.
Really? Who helped you write it?
A friend of ours from Switzerland. They
Really?
used to be here in the United States.
What made you want to decide to write a book?
Originally, I wasn't writing a book to write a book. I was originally writing because I wanted to find out what it was that caused me to have a nervous breakdown, because I didn't understand how a person who was really trying to, cope with learning how to deal with stress, staying.
Did Janet tell you when y'all left here that she believed you? She was going to stand by you?
Yes, she did. And I believe her.
And then you probably don't have any reason not to.
I don't have any reason.
I talked to her for a long time yesterday. And, it's obvious she cares about you a great deal. She wants everything to be okay.
Yeah, Shelly, you're right. Jail's just like the real world. Some people go to church in the real world for the fashion show or to look best or to socialize. And then some go there to actually praise God. You know what I mean? And some people in jail go there to socialize, get out of their cell. And some people go in there to actually praise God. It's just, we got the same imposters and repenters in the real world as you do in jail.
She's confused about some of the circumstances and situations that she would naturally be, but I think that Janet's used to living her life by faith, and she just has a lot of faith that everything is okay.
Dang, if he could just remember Thursday, right, Carol?
I didn't watch my clock.
What time was your meeting with KNLE?
I didn't have a meeting set with KNLE. I had talked to a couple of gentlemen a number of times about getting our website up. When I had problems doing what they told me to do, this was over a period of 3 months' time, I gave the information to my guitarist, who in turn was trying to get information up. When he couldn't do it, and he was probably a couple weeks or so, maybe 4 weeks into it, he finally was at a point where he was ready to go ahead and just try to get a new domain name. Because we paid for a year's domain name with a different site, and when the site messed us over, we went ahead and went with KNLE. KNLE is our sponsored host that we went through.
That's just another one of those coincidences, coincidences and circumstances. Things are just not working out here. They're just not.
Hey, Whiskey and Tea, welcome back, sis. How's your day going?
Time.
You're telling me things. I don't know that. So I don't know what you're doing. I'm just telling you, I haven't done that. So I don't know, how come you guys feel so strongly about that. Coincidences happen. If they didn't, they wouldn't be called coincidences. But I'm telling you, I haven't touched any flyers that I have ever been in Austin looking at houses.
And that's fine. I mean, that's what we need to know.
Does anybody have your fingerprints?
Other than
Law enforcement.
Not that I know.
In 2001, does anybody have your fingerprints? Can anybody put your fingerprints somewhere? Was that even available back then?
Fingerprints are not coincidental.
I understand that.
I mean, a fingerprint is a fingerprint, and it comes back to that finger that belongs to that one person. No other person in the universe has that same print.
Well, that's what they say.
No, that's what it is.
Well, I believe it is. I don't know that, but I believe it. Yes.
What do you believe in?
I believe in my Lord Jesus as my Savior. I believe that
He ain't saving you, brother. And he ain't forgiving no sins. Because you're not even repenting. You're not even owning up to what you've done. I'm sure you lied your way through the whole first time you went to jail, too.
it's highly possible to make mistakes, because if they didn't, you wouldn't have people who've been in prison for 10 years and their cases turned over.
Hey, light it up for me. Make sure you take an extra puff for me, whiskey. I'm dry right now, but I got my little drink. You know what I'm saying? I'm sipping.
I believe it's very possible for people to make mistakes. If they didn't, they wouldn't be human. I make mistakes. I'm not pretending not to make mistakes. I may say some things that may be off by a couple of minutes, or a particular area frame or something, because I'm human. I don't sit there and take notes about my every second of every day. Certain things stand out, certain things don't.
Bro said I don't take notes about my day, but you have a planner. You said you have a calendar that you follow, or like a daily planner, which means every day, if you're a person who uses a planner, you literally have your day planned out. You know from what hour to what hour you're doing each subject or errand or job that you have to do.
I'm sure of one thing, that I didn't murder anybody.
Tell me about your church is a particular denomination, a particular belief.
Can I ask you guys a question? I don't mind sitting here talking with y'all, but I would at least like to call my wife before she leaves a phone that I can talk to her at. You can be there. I'm not going to talk about the case. I'm just let her know where I'm at, so she doesn't go up there trying to drop money off for me at another jail. She's planning on coming to visit me up there, and I would really like to talk to her and let her know. Listen, okay? So I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what they may be telling me is true or not true.
He going back with the don't matter what, just believe me, don't believe them. That's what he's telling her.
I'm not going to admit to any murder because I didn't commit any murder, period. I don't care what it looks like. And I know you believe in me, but you need to believe this is going to work out, because the truth, no matter what it looks like, the truth is going to come out, Janet. Okay? Now, we're gonna make it through this. You hear me? We're gonna make it through this. We do need to go ahead and see about getting an attorney. Okay? Because I told him I'd talk to him, as long as I didn't feel I'm incriminating myself. Because I can see how easy they turn things around on me, because I've seen them do it already, and they're trying to make me think I've said something I didn't. I'm not stupid. Okay. Well, let's put it this way. They read me my rights, that I was being arrested, and charging me with this. That doesn't mean that they're not still investigating. It just means right now it seems that I'm their number one suspect, and with reason. I mean, I can understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, I know my innocence, so I'm not going to sit here and say I did something I didn't do. I'm only helpful so far, and then I'm not going to incriminate myself by saying something stupid because I don't know what I'm doing to just make myself worse. I'll try to cooperate with them the best I can, but then that's the end of it. And you just need to trust God, okay, and see about getting an attorney, okay. I promise you, Janet, if it's true that, yeah, it's very rare that someone ever goes, if it's rare that someone goes to prison for something they haven't done, then this is all going to come out, okay? And it's going to be okay. All right? You just keep that focus because that's what's going to happen. You gotta hang up?
Yeah. That's my phone, and I have to pay for that. So.
Okay. Well, I'll call you when I get to a cell because I'm using her payphone right now, okay? But this is where I'm at. And I love you, and I'll call you later. Are you going to be at her house for a while? Well, if not, I'll ask her if she'll go get you, okay? And then I'll call you later, okay? All right. I love you. It's going to be okay. I love you. Bye. All right. It's okay. Bye.
I overheard you say that I'm not charging you with murder. You're not here under arrest for murder. I want you to understand that. You're under arrest for your parole violation. There is no murder charge on you, Tony.
He keep bringing up murder because he know he did that shit, bro. They're like, bro, we haven't even charged you with that yet.
That's why I thought you guys were arresting me.
No, we're transferring you from Bastrop Jail to Travis County Jail. You're not under arrest for murder. I don't know. I never said that.
Right.
Did you hear me say that you're under arrest for murder?
Like I said, I'm human. I thought that's what y'all were arresting me for.
You're not. You're already. The reason why we read your rights is because you're in custody for the parole violation, which is what we explained to you when you came in here.
Hey, what up, Petey? Here, let me get you the recap. So basically, this guy killed a random lady that he didn't know. He said he was lost and he doesn't remember what happened that day. Right now, it's towards the end. He keeps calling his wife and telling her, no matter what happens, you better believe me. God's gonna protect me. He was like in a rock ministry group. And yeah, he served prior. He did this before. He's done this before. He did about 8 years in jail. At the time of this video, it's 2001. And he's been out of jail for a few years, remarried, and tried to start his life over. He's been a youth pastor or like a ministry. Um, so he's always involved with like churches and stuff. But I think he uses that as like a cover for like his dark side. You know what I mean?
Call her and tell her that I'm not in here for that.
Later, you can call her later.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want her sitting there crying like she's crying, thinking
I'll call her and tell her. Okay. I'll call her and tell her.
I want her to know pretty soon if you can call her, because I don't want her sitting down there. She's already going to a nut.
Yeah, she's going through a lot. She was not in very good shape yesterday when we were talking.
She's not in good shape right now.
I can see why not. You know, we've been going back and forth, you know, having a decent conversation. You've been very upfront about what you believe and all that stuff. I think it's time we start concentrating on the facts of this case and figuring out where we're going to go from here. Okay? And I'm frankly, a little fed up with all this coincidence stuff. And, you know, it's not adding up. And you know it doesn't add up. And we know it doesn't add up.
It doesn't look good, but I'm telling you, I didn't murder anybody.
Okay, then you tell us why.
You say you didn't murder somebody. Maybe you didn't, okay?
That's a good boy.
But you were in that neighborhood, Tony, and you talked to several people in that neighborhood. They said that you were there at their home, and it wasn't at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was earlier than that.
And you've been in other places in Austin doing similar stuff.
No, sir.
With your van
and your fingerprint
being written down. The license plate of that van was written down at another time. Not just this past time, but another time.
I'm telling you, that
And you told me yesterday that nobody else drives your van except for you
my wife,
and your wife. And it certainly wasn't your wife that was over
Right.
at that house. You know what? Let me ask you something. We called Lake Jackson yesterday and we talked to several detectives who knew Patrick Russo really, really well.
there's also a judge over there that knows me very well too.
And you know, we had some very interesting conversations about some cases that you were involved in that you were never filed on for. And you know what those cases involved? Those cases involved you choking women, you tying women up and choking them.
I told y'all, you know, Fade, Detective Fade be on this shit, bro. Detective Fade be on this shit. I told you he had an issue where he wanted to like overpower women. This like I called this shit, bro. Shout me out, man. I gave myself a Discord. I get a horn for Fade because I've been on this case the whole fucking way.
I find that very interesting.
Another one of those coincidences.
I suppose that's a coincidence. Is that not just a coincidence? And a lot of those cases you were never filed on for.
I had one charge for tying someone up, and that was a kidnapping charge.
No, sir.
Don't eat that.
No, sir.
Come here.
That's the charge.
Come here.
That's the formal charge.
That's what you got convicted
That's
for.
not all the other
Ooh.
cases that they had.
That's styrofoam.
They have multiple women over there
You're
that
gonna
were
die
chose
if
by
you eat
Patrick
that.
Russo,
Don't eat
and they
that.
all picked you out.
Stupid.
You admitted to the one that you knew you were busted on because you were picked out of that lineup.
I admitted to every single thing that I've been in trouble with.
You never said anything about choking any of those other women,
Okay, you're a good
I
boy.
got arrested.
tying them
for-
up.
You just kind of
I tied up one person when I had my nervous breakdown, and all I didn't even threaten the person. Okay,
But
well,
you just
then
wanted
you
them to
guys-
listen to you. Okay, we know all about that.
Yeah. I'm talking about the ones that you didn't talk about.
The ones that I lost my temper with.
I'm talking about the women that you did tie up and choke,
No,
but
that's
you
not.
didn't talk about.
I have not tied up anybody and choked anybody.
Really?
Now, I have assaulted a couple of people, and I have tied up
Women or men?
They were women. That's
Mm-hmm.
true.
And what did they do to you?
Bro, big as hell. He never steps to a man. He always beating up women, bro. That's crazy.
That you assaulted them?
I think that they didn't do a thing to deserve what they got.
What? That's ominous. That doesn't tell me anything. They didn't do what they deserved what they got. What did they do that sparked you to assault them?
They didn't do anything to spark me.
Why'd you do it?
Why'd you do it?
Because the time that I had those two incidences where I had an assault on two different women were when I was
Yeah,
on
good boy.
drugs. And I was having a real short mood spans. I was
Yeah, Wordsmith, remember he said, I had a mental breakdown and I had anxiety. So I had to tie the girl up so that I had somebody to listen to my thoughts.
That anger problem coming up again, right?
well, it could be both anger and drugs. I've never hurt anybody when I was not on drugs. I've never hurt anybody.
You were on drugs on the kidnapping deal too.
No, sir, I was not, and I didn't hurt that lady.
Did you tie her up?
Yes, sir, I
Did you
did.
threaten her?
No, I didn't. And that's
Did
in my
you force her to stand there tied up listening to you?
as I was sitting there crying and telling her how I needed.
You didn't think
something.
that hurt her?
I'm sure it hurt her emotionally, yes.
Yeah, it probably did.
But you guys are talking about choking people.
Mm-hmm.
They
That's
have-
what I'm talking
They
about.
have at least 5 cases
They got a stack.
of women who said, yeah, that's the guy that choked me.
Okay.
You know
well,
how they knew that? The nose. Just like all these other people said, the guy had a big nose.
No, I'm the only person in the world with a big nose.
No, but you know, they knew you down there as Patrick with the big nose. And all those women said he had a big nose. Picked you out. There's a stack of them. There's more than 5 victims over there, Patrick. You know? That's not a very big town. You know, everybody knew you. I didn't really.
Bro, yeah, like how do y'all have 5 victims outside the one he was convicted on, but charges were never brought? What type of police work are they doing down here?
realize how famous you were in Lake Jackson. You know, you only told us that one because that's the one you got convicted on. There's multiple cases that they could have filed on you, and why they didn't, I don't know. And you know what? They were like, I can't believe he's out of jail. There's several women that said you tied them up. You tied their hands up.
Okay.
How about the one who came out of her bedroom when the other one was tied up, and then you had to tie her up too? We got a stack of them.
You know,
You got a reason for that one too.
I'm going to tell you this. First of all, you guys are twisting things up. Because
we're just repeating what they told us.
That's what they told us.
You need to read the police report. Don't listen to over talk from 10 years ago. Because it's real easy to start confusing things. You read my files and see what was said and written in those things, and then come talk to me about them. Now, you know, I understand that there's a pretty darn familiar thing here, but you know, the entire time I was locked up, how many people I've seen killed, and for all similar type of things. I'm not the only person in this world that's ever done something wrong.
I know, but we're not talking about everybody else.
I know that, and you're trying to make me say, yes, I've done something I didn't do, and I'm not going to do that.
All we're saying is what is in the record.
And I know what's in the record. I was convicted of this stuff. I know, and I've tried my best to put that stuff to the past.
Okay, so you're saying that's not true? You didn't do those things?
No, I didn't do what you.
They're trying to bring out his anger now to show him, like, bro, this is what you do. This is you. You see he's getting frustrated now. They're starting to get him mad, and they're going to keep pushing it so that they can see his breaking point and then be like, is this what you did to the ladies? Is this what happened to your victims? I think that's the play they're going for.
You guys are saying I did. You're trying to combine things
the first
together.
step in correct me if I'm wrong, maybe your religion is different than mine, but the first step in forgiveness is to admit that you've done something wrong.
I have.
To repent.
I have.
To at least be sorry for the things that you've done.
Okay. You know, I can see that you guys.
What would you say if I told you that your wife, Janet, told Detective Gilchrist that you choke her during sex? What would you say to that?
I would say that what I do in my sex life is nobody's business.
It may not be, but I think it's very pertinent to this case and what's happened here and what's happened in your past. You like to choke women. That's obvious.
We called that early on. I told y'all he has a fetish with like choking and overpowering females. I said that like 20 minutes into this case. So yeah, he does it at home too. Normally, the things you do at your home, like, you know, that's your business. He's low-key right about that. But when you have a track record like this, now you starting to open in Pandora's box. You know, now the police have a reason to ask your wife shit like that. You know what I mean? And those little kinks that you thought were innocent or something you shared with your partner, it turns out, nah, this isn't new. This isn't something special. This isn't something we found together. This is his in between time. Like, this is what holds him off from killing people type shit.
Why would you choke your wife during sex?
And if you don't, why would she tell us that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why would she tell us that, Patrick?
I'm going to share this with you guys. You guys, after my phone call, came in here and are instantly hostile. Why? I don't know. Okay.
Because we're fed up.
Look, this is my life here. This is my life that's on the line here.
Right.
Now, I didn't do anything to hurt anybody else's life. And yes, I have a reason to feel the way I feel.
Then you need to get right.
Tell us what happened on Thursday. Where were you at on Thursday, bro? We can clear this all up right now.
Right with what happened so that we can get past all this. Because, yeah, it's your life, but you're alive. There's a woman out there that's dead.
I understand.
And that's why we do what we do.
Good boy.
Okay, I understand that.
Okay, then let's quit all this crap about coincidences and no, I wasn't here, no, I wasn't there, and get right. Admit to what you did, and maybe we can get to the forgiveness part. Because this is just crap. It's just bullshit, and you know it.
It's disgusting to sit here and listen to you talk about being such a devout Christian and...
Right. It makes you want to throw up, bro.
and forgiveness and how much you've turned your life around, when this one coincidence after another, this whole thing goes back to similarities that I'm sure are coincidental back in 1989, 1990, 91, 92, you know? But you're this reborn Christian, and you're going to sit here and lie about it?
And you say you've admitted to all the things you've done in your past. Well, that's not true. You're not admitting to it. You're even in trying to admit to it, you're blaming somebody else. It's the drugs, or it's the police are telling us something that's not true because it didn't really happen that way. Or
you were going to tell me something about your sex thing, about why she would say that you choked her. What was that deal was?
Anything.
Well, what was that going to be about? Why would she tell us that you do that?
I think that you guys, I've tried to cooperate with you guys. Okay, I don't.
You know what? You're not trying to cooperate. You're trying to snow us. You're trying to get over on us so that we'll think that you're this high and mighty religious whatever that is so much better than your past, that you've done all that, you're through with all that, and nothing happened. You're innocent. You couldn't have been anywhere that we said you were, when the facts, indisputable, concrete facts, say different. We don't just make this stuff up.
I'm not saying you made it up.
And you know what? Those people out there in North Austin, they don't know you.
I don't even know if it's Jekyll and Hyde, because if I remember the book Jekyll and Hyde, they didn't remember being Jekyll or Hyde. You know what I mean? Like they don't. I don't think Jekyll realizes he's Hyde. You know what I mean? This guy is definitely hiding stuff. You know, trying to, like he said, snowball the fucking officers.
You have a record. They couldn't give a shit about Patrick Russo. They care about their own lives. They have their own families. And you came up there and you disrupted their lives and their families. And now everybody's in a panic.
I have not.
Well, why are they saying you did it? They couldn't give a shit who Patrick Russo is.
That's right. They don't care who.
They didn't know you were on parole. They don't know you from Joe Schmo that stands on the street corner who's a transient. So your wife is even saying that, well, I don't know how, he's on parole. You fed her that line forever, that the reason why you get picked out for things that happen around there is because of your unfortunate past.
This is the first time I've been picked up while on parole.
There's plenty of people around Travis County that we could have picked up, but it all came back to you, Patrick.
Because of my van.
That's right, and the license plate that's on your van, that is an undisputable fact. Flyers that were picked up and maybe left behind in a hurry because somebody got scared or whatever reason.
Just explain to us, or just admit that you were in Austin, in Southwest Austin, doing whatever, and that's why this witness saw your van, and wrote down your license plate number. Explain that to us. Maybe we can understand. Otherwise, everything else you're telling us is just bullshit, and I'm full up. I'm tired of it. I know that you're in a bad spot.
No.
But Janet can't fix it for you, even though you go get your story straight with her after we talk to both of you, even though you call her.
I didn't get my story straight.
That's bullshit. Yesterday you told him specifically, this time. After you go home and talk to her, oh, well, I must have made a mistake. I don't remember all the times. It must have been something else. Whatever she told you is probably true. Yeah, because she doesn't lie. She's just been snowed by you so long that she can't see from the blinders that you're out here screwing up, going in people's houses, and yeah, you killed somebody, but you can't admit it.
Okay, I'm done talking now.
You're done. You're right.
I can't believe you guys.
You're awfully calm for a man who thinks who thinks that we think he murdered somebody.
I'm calm?
Yeah, I think you're very calm.
I'll tell you what I am. I'm in a real big daze here because I can't believe this is happening in my life.
Well, you better believe it, and you knew it yesterday. You knew it yesterday. You know exactly what's going on, Patrick.
I know what's going on. I can't help it if I can't believe what's happening. That's
well,
all.
You know what? We're going to prove that you did it. And it isn't going to be that hard. Because you're there. Everybody saw you there. You're just making it worse for yourself.
I did not kill anybody.
You're just making it worse for yourself. And you think about that God of yours.
You know, you guys want
when you're lying.
No, you guys want to keep trying to throw that in my face because I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
That I'm supposed to tell you.
Well, you're not being a very Christian
Well,
by
you
lying.
want me to tell you what you want to hear.
No, I want you to tell the truth.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You want me to tell you what you want me to tell you, not what I'm telling you. Because what I'm telling you, you don't want to hear.
Okay, Patrick. I didn't mean to yell at you. I'm getting frustrated, that's all. Because I believe that you are a Christian man. I believe you probably have turned your life around to some extent. But I believe it's possible that, you may be jammed up for money or something. And maybe that, you were up in those neighborhoods for a reason. The coincidence stories just aren't panning out for me.
Does he hang up the flyer with a fingerprint?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there ain't no fingerprint on no flyer with my fingerprint on it.
Okay. So then how do you explain that?
I can't explain it. I can just tell you I don't have any fingerprints on any flyers.
Okay.
I really want to get an attorney. I really want to get my attorney now.
Okay.
Because this is getting to a point where I can't compete with you guys.
It's not a competition.
It is a competition because I'm sitting here, my whole world's upside down. I understand that someone died here, but since I didn't do it, I don't think my whole life should be turned upside down, and my wife and my family should be put through this. I screwed up in my lifetime, and I paid for what I did. But I didn't murder anybody. I don't care what it looks like. I never murdered anybody.
Well, let me tell you what, Patrick, okay? Before we go here in just a second, you say that you shouldn't be put through this, and your family and your wife and whatever. Bring your left hand back. All right, so let's turn around. Let's go through this door.
Pants are falling off.
Oh, oh, good.
Patrick Tony Rousseau was found guilty of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Hey, I'm cool with that verdict. Yeah, that was a good case for sure, for sure. Uh, yeah, I'm happy he got life, man. I mean, they had everything on him.
Turn over. Because what I'm going to tell you is going to make your jaw drop, probably.
Well, hold on.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. I'm glad he got life. His tape was a little boring though, to be honest with you. They just kept saying the same things over and over. Like you usually they'll get better reactions out of them. Them detectives were good though. They stayed on the plot. They just wanted him to admit it. They knew they had more than enough evidence to convict him. Yeah, his previous jail sentence told him he wasn't going to tell them anything. He didn't, as much as a Christian he claims to be, he didn't seem like he found religion in jail. It just seems like he became a better criminal, or what he thought would be a better criminal. You know what I mean? But man, this episode is gonna be a little bit shorter than normal. So you know what I mean? My apologies, but definitely be back for our 3 p.m. stream. Usually when we have a smaller stream like this, the next one blows up. I don't know why the algorithm's like that, but it is. So yeah, definitely mark your times for 3 p.m. Western Pacific Standard Time, and we'll see you guys then. Shout out Dose. Shout out everybody who showed up today. Appreciate you, Wordsmith, moderating the chat. Carol, welcome to the game. But yeah, man, I'll see you guys at 3 p.m. and we'll take it from there. Peace and love, y'all.
And the art of punches when you can throw two punches that sound like one. You can throw punches, you can hear them. They were two, but they sound like fucking one punch. They don't understand. Anybody that hears this understand art of fighting. They know what I'm saying. He threw two punches that sound like one.